Hey, so I wanted to talk a little bit about how things are going with me. I had a plasmapheresis in the hospital in February, and then it's been 3 months since then. At first I was really tired and recovering from that, and then I had this really great, very gradual, steady improvement, and got to a point where I was walking really steady, gripping things well. I noticed reflex improvements in my hands. I was sharper and starting to do creative, like my brain was working better. So I was able to do things that, like, the normal person who doesn't have this, they don't understand how difficult it can be mentally to handle doing small things that other people take for granted. I mean, I'm not talking about doing your taxes or massively complicated. I mean, taxes aren't super complicated normally, but exhausting and time consuming. Or doing or running, complicated spreadsheets like I used to do for work. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like simple stuff like trying to follow a recipe, trying to I sometimes edit photos, trying to edit a photo and trying to keep track of what you're doing, and just having the mental energy to be able to divert from just basic functions of getting around. It just feels like my brain is occupied and super busy. It probably is with the amount of pain I'm in, and with what's going on with my immune system being overactive and attacking itself, and who knows what else going on inside me. So it's like you're only partially there. And yeah, I saw a big improvement in that at first for a while, for a large part of the period after the plasmapheresis. I was really happy to see that. And then these last 3 to 4 weeks, that has gone away. And I can see that in evidence by things and things like I'm not walking as steady. It seems incredibly painful. It is incredibly painful for me to walk very far. A couple weeks ago, a month ago, I was able to walk to my mailbox in my apartment complex that's just like up a few buildings. And that's not something that's in my realm of possibility right now. It would just be more energy than I have to exert. It's painful actually to walk very far. It's painful in my hips. And my body just screams that, like, we're doing something wrong. We got to stop. We got to rest. I don't know why I need so much rest. I've also gradually started sleeping more and more as I've been declining. It seems like I need more sleep, or my sleep, maybe that is partially because of increased pain. My sleep is not as good. My sleep is a little more broken. The other night I slept like 13 hours. I mean, not all that was like solid, really good sleep, but that's how long I was in bed in kind of a sleep-like state. I'm often in bed a good 15, 16 hours in a stretch overnight, between, trying to fall asleep and then when I wake up in the morning and feeling really sick and groggy. It's an awful thing to wake up to already feel really sick, and then to wake up when you think you should feel rested after sleeping the whole night, and your hope is you're going to wake up feeling better, and then wake up feeling actually worse or the same, or sicker. It's demoralizing sometimes. It's like getting kicked while you're already down. But haven't given up. I'm hoping it's just a little slump that is temporary. I am doing things to try to support myself, and something I haven't done as well with the last couple years that I am realizing I need to do, that I look at it as self-care and kindness to myself, to rest more, that I don't beat myself up mentally when I can't do as much as I'd like to do, or that I'm not well. I spent a lot of time in the last 3 years 3.5 years while on disability, beating myself up for not being at a job like everybody else. I want to be there. I worked really hard for my career. I have multiple master's degrees. I carved out my own job and position in a major company. I was a junior executive. I was really proud of my accomplishments, and I beat myself up a lot in this really weird, twisted, not healthy way and it's kind of like my parents' voices in my head, or like the voices that like just society, you're supposed to be at work, right? You're supposed to be successful. And I want to be. It's horrible to not be successful. It's horrible to not have anything to be proud of. So I've been trying to, just advice from others and others, being a professional sick person and trying to get better. So I'm no longer a professional sick person and can go back to being a professional person, or an alternative career or whatever it is, and have a better impact on the world. I've learned that I need to not be so hard on myself and look at the things I do in self-care as important as anything, because getting me better is as important as anything I can possibly do. So continuing, like right now, and not feeling so good, when I really I spend most of the day lying down. We can set up for short bursts and back to that place, which isn't great news, is not what we hoped at this point. I wouldn't say I'm maybe as bad as when I went into the hospital in February, but I'm pretty darn close. It just hasn't gone on as long, so it's concerning a little bit. It's fatigue. My limbs are heavy. It feels like my body's full of sandbags. Everything's kind of slower. I'm out of it. All the things I've listed, and it is a struggle to do basic things. It is a real struggle. Having my abilities change actually this time quite faster than usual in the last 3 to 4 weeks, or maybe just having that window of feeling pretty good and improving a bunch in late March and in April, and now we're in late May. That has, I think, in some ways, it's been great because it's shown me that my nerves can heal, that they're not so far gone that I can't start getting at least some level of strength back, and stability and consistency and brain power back. But it is in some other ways almost harder, because I realize more acutely what I'm missing, that improvement that I had once when the treatments worked long ago. And then it hasn't been going as well this winter. I mean, they're working, because I'd be in a lot worse shape if they weren't working. They are maintaining and keeping me from falling much, much faster. And I can feel that they are doing something, that I do improve after treatments a little bit, but overall, on average, every 2 weeks, the last 2 sets of 2 weeks, I've gone down. So that's bad news about how treatments are going and how the fight against this disease is going right now. We will just see. Hopefully it is a fluke. Hopefully it turns around. I am going to love myself, support myself, be kind to myself, do all of my self-care. I've been better than ever with taking my vitamins and taking all my medications. I do try to reduce pharmaceuticals as much as possible, because they have a lot of side effects. But on some pretty low side effect ones that do help quite a bit, I'm taking those. I'm resting a lot. I'm trying to look for ways to kind of keep my mood up, because I definitely notice a correlation that when my mood is very low, it's not like it causes me to fall down farther with my condition. It's just like one more weight that you're carrying on top of everything else that doesn't help. So having a good positive attitude each day is helping. I'm doing Wim Hof, which is a lot of people have gotten a lot of benefit from autoimmune diseases. I've talked about it in some videos in the past. In October, I took that class for Wim Hof. I'm with a cold exposure, and in October or early November, I made that video where I went out in the snow and sat in the snow after doing the Wim Hof method, and it is a pretty cool thing when it works. I've also had it really tank me, so I have to be careful to be gentle. But they had a class this week that was free for 5 days that I took. It lasts about, it's a little videos that you just watch yourself on your own time. It's about probably like 20, anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes a day. And I broke that up into 2 segments and each day. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was very interesting. And I think there could be some potential there for me. I'm hoping. I'm going to keep trying it gently. And seeing if it's about breathing and this kind of meditation that you reach and getting more oxygen to your body. And then the idea is it's supposed to calm down your immune system or let you control your immune system to not attack what it shouldn't. It is a little bit kind of new age type of stuff, but I'm willing to try anything. And if people say it's helped them, then I don't think it's going to hurt. There have been research studies that show changes in the immune response from people who were taught this method. And within, I think, like 4 or 5 days, were able to have changes in how their immune system responded. And that's, they documented that. And so I am going to keep on that. That's what I can do. My doctor did. We may be considering admitting me back to the hospital for more plasmapheresis. With COVID going on, I'm kind of hopeful that's not what we have to do. That's pretty scary. I don't want to talk about COVID. It's too much. It is very real and is very scary. And the things that with people getting autoimmune issues after it and during it, for me, it's a scary disease for me to catch. So I really hope that I can avoid catching it, at least till they know much, much more about it. So, I'm continuing to stay completely isolated, as well as my boyfriend, our household staying completely isolated. Anyway, so, living in the hospital for 8 days is the opposite of completely isolated and safe. So it's a trade-off. I'm not sure, whether that's worth it or not. I definitely want to get better. And if plasmapheresis works and we just need to pulse it and do it every 3 months, I would really like to do that and get better. Some people do plasmapheresis every month. Some people do that instead of IVIG, which I still do every 2 weeks. So anyway, those plasma treatments are really, really amazing. And it might make sense for me to try to do it now while there's plasma available. Because they're predicting a worse shortage than there already is. By the way, go donate plasma if you're a healthy person who is eligible. They will pay you, and it is saving the life of people like me. Many people have amazing effects, and if it weren't for the plasma donations that fuel the IVIG that I receive, I would be worse than wheelchair bound. I would probably be bed bound, or I think most likely dead by now. My case was pretty aggressive in its progression, and IVIG is the only thing that has stopped it. I definitely want to get better than this, but I am very thankful to not be worse. And I'm very thankful to everyone who's out there who's donated plasma. Anyway, it's a little PSA. But that's all. That's my update. It's got a smile on my face because I'm trying really hard, whether I want to or not, to believe that I can get better and to believe that these things are going to work and that this is just part of the journey. It's a road bump, but I can get over it, and I will get better. All right. Thanks for listening.